Hello, friends of Ludus. I'm Sergio Bravo, and today I welcome you to this Ludus session, where we'll answer some frequently asked questions about how long to use virtual reality during training, such as, how long can it be used? Or, how much time should I spend on it? Or, how long do the simulations last? As you might have guessed, the answers depend on several factors, so let's describe and illustrate them clearly to quickly clarify these questions. I'm going to put on the headset and tell you all about it. The first step is to determine, based on the available training time, what objectives I want to achieve as a trainer. For example, if I'm going to deliver an 8-hour theoretical and practical safety training for working at heights, I might decide to spend 1 hour on theory, 3 hours on theoretical practical training with virtual reality, and 4 hours on real hands-on practice in a simulator. The objectives of virtual reality in this case would be to check that the students do not suffer from acrophobia, to explain practical concepts such as the consequences of not following the procedure correctly, and to carry out practical exercises for safe access at heights to prepare the students for real practice. However, virtual CPR would be actual hands-on practice. Therefore, if an 8-hour first aid course is planned, with 3 hours of theory and 5 hours of practice, virtual CPR can be used throughout the entire practical portion. The training format also plays a role, since in online training, it is usually the instructor who performs the exercises while the students observe and participate via video call. This usually takes less time than in-person training, since the exercise is typically done only once. For example, to explain the Ludus procedure, the instructor performs it while explaining and answering relevant questions from the students. However, in face-to-face training, we depend on other factors such as the number of students, since we may have the goal of having all participants perform the procedure for practice. Now, if the simulation of the Ludus procedure takes 10 minutes, we'll need to multiply that by the number of students who are going to practice it. On the other hand, it won't always be necessary for every student to do the same exercise, since the rest will be watching and listening through a screen or projector. For example, in simulations like forklift operations, risk situations are presented that, by simply watching, explaining, and discussing them once during class, will be enough to make students aware of the consequences if accidents actually happen. The duration of the simulation also affects the amount of time it is used. For example, there are simulations like road safety, which are much shorter in duration than the overhead crane operation simulation, which is used to learn how to inspect and safely operate the machine through exercises like load flipping, and can last up to 30 minutes. Additionally, there are topics that allow you to link several simulations together, such as electrical hazards, logistical risks, or first aid, which can significantly affect the amount of time we need to dedicate to virtual reality during training. In short, virtual reality is a training tool that serves both the instructor and the students when it comes to time management. As you can see, it's very adaptable. What do you think? Did you find this content interesting? If you want to learn more, visit our blog, where we cover topics related to training, safety, health, technology, and more. And to stay up to date with all the latest news, check out our news page and follow us on social media. We've left the links below. Best regards and see you next time.